We gave you a little preview there, right? A little preview of the remix. All right, so welcome back to Comic Book Nation, season 4. I forget where we were. Season 4 of Comic Book Nation, top shop for all things geek culture. I am your host, Kofi Outlaw. My co-host, Janelle Wheeler, is here.
Hello, everybody.
And still back with us is Mr. Matthew Aguilar.
What up, everybody?
And a happy Friday to all our listeners in the CB Nation crew. Today we are going to get into it. Bum ba-dum bum 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 ba-dum bum 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 bum. Oh, yeah, we're gonna Book of Boba Fett cleanup after the finale. So we're going to talk about it, and we're going to talk about, did the Book of Boba Fett deliver or disappoint us as Star Wars fans? If you have not been on social media, if you have not been outside, as they say lately, it's going down. People are pretty divisive out there about the Book of Boba Fett, so we're going to get into all of that. Plus, we got to talk about the new trailer for Jurassic World Dominion, the big, not big, oh my God, I can't believe I used that word, the weirdly small DC 2022 trailer, just to remember DC movies are a thing. We're talking about the latest episode of Peacemaker, the Futurama revival. Plus, we are going to talk about the Reacher series on Amazon Prime with star Alan Ritchson. So we will be talking with him, or Matt will rather. And we're going to talk about the new Netflix series, All of Us Are Dead, as well. Plus, we got some good comics this week. So let's start at the top. Book of Boba Fett finale. So did this disappoint or did it deliver? I would say for me, and I think I've been the biggest Book of Boba Fett, I just want to say, I don't want to say defender, but I've been the one who I think has been most into it. Actually, Janelle's been strangely into the Book of Boba Fett. So let's give you your credit. Credit where credit's due. Thanks. Janelle, you've been on.
Weren't you the one that asked if it was disappointing? I'm episodes ago?
Yes, I'm allowed to ask these questions.
Okay. I'm just wondering.
Unlike 90% of people on planet Earth, me asking a question does not betray an insecurity. Right. I can ask a question because usually I ask questions purely as traps because I already have a passionate answer one way, but I'm just luring you into something that is seemingly a discussion, but it's really just a totalitarian indoctrination on my part. But the question mark softens people up, you know? So, I've been.
Are we talking spoilers?
Yeah, I mean, it's over. Yeah, it's all streaming on Disney+.
I'm just informing the chat.
And half of it's on Twitter. If we're honest.
Oh, yeah.
Half of it's on
half of it's trending on Twitter. So, we're going to be talking full spoilers of Book of Boba Fett, whole series now. Like, it's all out there. We're talking it all. So, for me, I think it was a pretty good mixed bag is how I'll describe it. There was a lot that I loved about Book of Boba Fett finale. Like, I mean, come on. People are complaining, but we got to see just a list of things I posted in a tweet of positive things. We got to see Boba Fett and Mando back to back in a, Butch Cassidy, Sundance Kid shootout. We got to go see Fennec Shand go full ninja on some fools and take out a whole room. We got to see Boba Fett shooting up-ish, riding a Rancor. We got to see Baby Yoda put a Rancor to sleep and go to sleep next to it.
It was adorable.
Yeah, and we got to see a Rancor's rumbling droids on some sci-fi stuff. Like, there was a lot, and it was all a big battle at Tatooine, right? So there was a lot to love about this episode. That said, I also agree some of the things were kind of shoddy. Like, I mean, I still don't love the mod kids that much. I love Sophia Birch. She's Thatch, I think, I forget her name. I'm messing up her name. Sophia Thatch, maybe, from Yellow Jackets, who's the girl with the cyborg arm. She's great. But otherwise, I don't like the mods that much. The spin move, me and Rob Keyes from Screen Rant, my old buddy. And just for the record, me and Rob are like original co-workers in all this. We're buddies. So, like, we can fight about Star Wars and it's not real beef. So we have been fighting about Star Wars and about the spin moves and, the shots, which to me, I don't mind. I want my Star Wars to be like my nachos. Good with meat, some good veggies in there, but also a hefty amount of cheese, right? To hold it all together. You need that hefty amount of cheese to hold it all together.
What an analogy. Okay.
Bro, if you've never looked at a stack of nachos and said, I understand why this is life, you're really not into your third eye yet.
I don't get to eat nachos very often anymore, so when I look at nachos, they're gone. There's no
That's
like,
just
there's no
excuse.
like
zucchini nachos are a thing. You better get on it,
absorbing the ingredients. No, those things are gone. Okay, I got
bro.
like 5
Get
minutes.
some zucchini. Get a pan.
No,
You
no,
saute those
please.
things a little bit and
not
stack them and eat some
happening.
zucchini
That's
nachos.
not
It's
happening.
half salad, half nachos. Come
No,
on.
no,
You gotta adapt. Anyway, this is not a cooking show yet.
you turned it into one.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I just want nachos, Matt. Maybe I'm just hungry. So there was a lot to love, and I mean, the things I didn't love, but overall, I did like the Book of Boba Fett. As we talked about last time, I look at this as like a Bible verse comparison. Bibles have books, and they're not all just about the thing in the title of the book. And they're parables centered around these people or ideas, but they're bigger parables about something. This is exactly what this was. The Book of Boba Fett is the story of people without tribes coming together as a tribe. And, that's what they do on a micro scale. And then we see at the end that it's beginning to extend out to kind of all of Tatooine, kind of being united because of Boba Fett. This place of like lawlessness and separateness and all this stuff is finally kind of doing this transformation. So I get it. And I don't agree with exactly with the execution. I'm going to be real. There's still things about this whole period of COVID production that, as just somebody who's been analyzing film for a long time, like I'm going to always have problems with, because I can tell where choices had to be made in that regard. But overall, I enjoyed the Book of Boba Fett and what it did for expanding the universe of Star Wars TV. If people want to argue, like maybe this will get some of that Iron Man 2 resentment for having to lift up and do a bunch of universe lifting, but hey, I enjoyed it. That is me. I'm not going to complain. I'm going to go full Janelle on this. More content. I'm good.
Yes.
I got some more content. With that, Jay, you take it away.
Oh gosh. I mean, yeah, I feel like they slam dunked the ending here, finally like bringing it all together. My only complaint really with the show for me was that, Mando had a whole entire episode, and then there were like 2 episodes that, Boba wasn't really in them, and that's fine and great and everything, but the show, like, it's named after him, so I just thought that he should be in every episode. But bringing it all together, putting that bow on top, the action, it was so great. I honestly had no idea that there was a problem with the spin in this one action scene. I guess there was like a spin or a twirl or something and a shot. I didn't see that until you posted it, Kofi, and now I can't unsee it.
People are going off about this, man. It's not me.
It's bad. People are freaking out. I just don't understand why.
Well, this is classic Star Wars. Like we get, like I said, I mentioned all these action things we get in this episode, but it just takes one spin move to do it. I mean, it's like The Last Jedi and the Canto Bight thing, right? Like that one sequence, and then people were like, there's always something we get stuck on.
It's so weird how people really want to pick apart and complain about these shows, because it's like I appreciate it for what it is. It was a fun ride. It was a cool story. I got to know a lot of characters that I had no idea who they were before, and saw some familiar characters, and I just thought it was great. I recommend people to watch it for sure. If you're a casual Star Wars consumer, I think you can really get into this.
Boom, Matt. Oh boy, we never know what you're gonna say.
Here we go.
I can't even read your face over there.
What?
Poker face.
Here's the thing. I have had early on, I had issues with like some pacing. I'm not saying the show was perfect or anything like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I had issues, like I felt like we could have gotten to the point faster and like set some things up instead of doing this whole like the show really coalesced in like the final 3 episodes. But you need all the other stuff for that to happen. So it's a weird thing, right? I just thought it could have been spread around a little bit differently. That said, these last couple episodes have been awesome. I've loved every single one, and this one was fantastic. This one was so good. This one was so good. I was grinning ear to ear from like the beginning of this to the end. I mean, everything from the baby Rancor just like destroying that thing, the like having Grogu back, like the spot where he like when Mando and them are reunited, and like that whole scene, I was just like a giant puddle on the ground. Didn't even matter. I was just like, it was amazing. It was amazing. Also, the action in this was really good. Like there was just a lot of like kind of like old Wild West style gunslinging, and I
Yeah.
like that.
I want to address that real quick because people in the comments have been asking about the spin. Yeah, I mean, there is a larger discussion, and I'm not going to get into it here, but yeah, when you get somebody like Robert Rodriguez or any director from a different background, there are a lot of things in Book of Boba Fett that are obviously come from a cultural place, right? Like there's a lot of things in the spin move. If you've ever seen Desperado, that Southwestern kind of, Texas to Mexico culture of Westerns. Yeah, spinning around, shootouts, getting the guy behind, spinning and getting the guy behind you on the roof. Like that's all part of
very
that. Yeah.
I mean, it's very Robert Rodriguez. I mean, I don't know. Have you seen a Robert Rodriguez thing? Like it's very. I didn't look. The spin thing didn't bother me at all. It's whatever. Okay, this is Star Wars. I just saw someone like eat a bunch of worms the last episode, and I see all these crazy creatures and stuff. Like this is laser fights, whatever. That stuff doesn't bother me. I'm already suspending disbelief enough. All right, I don't care. Like that stuff doesn't really bother me. It wasn't egregious to me to the point of like taking me out of the adventure. It was just one of a million different things that were happening. I was bummed when I thought, I'd be like, oh no, this is the last we're gonna see a Cad Bane, and then like, they hover there a while, and then the beeping thing. I was like, okay, he's not done. we'll get him back. The post-credit scene, I like. Look, this ended up being Mandalorian 2.5. I was fine with that, and what I come out of it feeling like is that I have a way larger appreciation for Boba Fett as a character, as a person. I now see that caricature not as just a really cool design and just like, oh, he had a couple cool moments in the original trilogy. I now see that Boba Fett as a person, and I'm excited to see him in other things. And that is something that I would not have guessed coming into this, because that's not what I was. Never really like a big Boba Fett. Like he was cool, but like I never really just like got the craze. I really enjoy him as a character now. By the way, someone mentioned it in the comics, but Fennec Shan's assassination sequence was amazing. Like that was so good, and like she's honestly the MVP of this whole series. She's been the glue to me that keeps it all together and keeps things moving. And I would take a whole series just on her. So yeah, I was stoked, man. I came out of this happy. Like I want to see a season 2 of this, or even if they just do a different, focus on somebody different, but make that Mandalorian 3.5, after the season 3 comes. Like I'm
the
cool
end
with
credit
that.
scenes were interesting for me. Like I felt like that did prompt. Like I feel like that could go on to be.
Yeah, let's talk
something.
about the post-credit scene. If you were confused, that's my boy Cobb Vanth. He's still in there. He's in the Bacta tank.
Mm-hmm.
I was confused.
But he's about to get murdered, right?
Right. I didn't know if he was cutting him out to take him somewhere.
No, that was the mod doctor. He's getting modded like Fennec Shan and the mod.
Thank you.
You're gonna get Cyborg.
I thought Boba was gonna come in and kick butt.
No. It's all good. Cobb Vanth is okay. He's just getting to.
I'm so glad to hear that, because I will say that he was one of my favorite characters of the entire.
He's getting modded, fools.
Yeah, I loved seeing him. I was pumped.
Back.
Yeah,
I wish he'd have his own show. Honestly, I love him.
Well, that's the thing. Coming out of this series, there's like 3 people that could easily hold down their own side story. I mean, obviously everyone wants to see, Bane pop up in something else, right? Cobb is the exact same way. I could totally take a show built around him, but again, bringing in these other characters, especially now that there's kind of this alliance in place. Like someone even mentioned it. I would watch a whole thing just on, and I'm blanking on her name, the mechanic. I would watch a whole show.
Amy Sedaris?
But I forget her character name. But like I would watch a whole show just based around her, just like a slice of life thing. Like she was amazing throughout the whole series. So yeah, I mean, to me, this built the world in a really cool way for mainstream fans, for like fans that aren't like just know every single character and stuff. I thought this was a really cool introduction to a lot of this extended universe stuff. I really liked it.
Okay. We got something live to do now. We were going to move on from Book of Boba Fett and talk about Peacemaker, but we got something live coming in hot.
What broke?
Rich, load it up, Rich. Load it up. First look at the Justice Society of America in Black Adam. We are talking about Hawkman. Dr. Fate, Atom Smasher, and what was the last one? Cyclone? Oh my god, I forgot the last one's name. Oh boy, really botched the landing here.
Find a tweet that has all the names in it.
Oh my god.
That is awesome. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's just going down. It's going down right now, man. I'm just happy. These are. Oh my god, our site. I love our site. We're doing each character individually. Fine. Instead of just one comic book, you got me again. Instead of just one article telling me all this information, I have to read one about.
Rywood says they look insane.
Yeah.
Shout out
there
to
you go.
Jenna. Hi,
Thanks,
Jenna.
Rich.
Thank you for tweeting.
Yeah, thanks, Jenna. Phase Zero. Watch or listen to Phase Zero. Where you can find Jenna.
By the way,
All the Marvel
Cyclone.
stuff. Cyclone. I was right.
Cyclone. Yeah.
Yeah, I was right. Okay, so I still get my check. Thank you. All right. So that's our first look at the Justice Society of America, or whatever they're going to be called in Black Adam or Justice Society. Yeah, looks sick, right? Like, nice stuff right there. I am digging it. So let's just do a quick reactions. Aldous Hodge is like, Hawkman is the one I think I've been, everybody's obviously worried about, but look at them wings though, right?
Yeah.
We got the gold and the kind of bird-like wing.
Stunning.
It looks
Hawkman
like
is hard to do. Hawkman is hard to do. Like I have a very I have a love and appreciation for the Smallville version, but like you can tell, you know what I mean? It's like budget and whatever can really hit a Hawkman and not make it. And I like Legends of Tomorrow's version too sometimes, but like
no, I mean, but you can't match this. Like
this looks awesome. Like
and
that
it looks like
great.
a combination of classic Carter Hall and like the Hawk World version with the metal wings, because the metal wings didn't have feathers and like they were just kind of metallic robot wings. But then
Like
the real feathers would look kind of crazy. So this is kind of like a nice medium.
Yeah.
And Aldous Hodge looks badass in that armor, and that is hard.
I'm not even mad at like the really big wings on the helmet.
No, I was just thinking that too. That's crazy. Get out of my head. I was just thinking that too. Yeah.
Get out of my head.
Get out of my head.
Get out of my head. Atom Smasher, who, Noah Centino, we didn't know what he would look like, but looks pretty dope. Giving Marvel a run for that Ant-Man money, huh? Or that Giant Man money, but looks good. So, yeah, I mean, this is just quick breaking news from the comic book newsroom. It's going down over there with Justice Society.
Beautiful.
Yeah, very nice.
I'm actually really a fan of all of these looks. I think it's pretty well done. That makes me feel good.
The thing
I'm optimistic.
The images move so fast that so who were the four that we got? Because I kept staring at Hawkman and Cyclone. Who were the other two that we got?
Hawkman, Cyclone, Dr. Fate, and Atom Smasher.
Okay, I haven't even seen Dr. Fate and Atom Smasher because every time I keep distracted. There was also Moon Knight covers.
Yeah, Moon Knight covers dropping.
I was gonna say, I got distracted.
What is happening?
Oh everything's happening because it's Friday and we're trying to do a show, and so everything is happening now.
Yeah,
Well, everybody said they wanted live reacts from us, so I feel like
so these are live reacts.
So
I'll just say "wow" to match my emote over and over again. Wow!
Oh, wow!
Boy, that Moon Knight cover is sick.
Yes, Moon Knight cover. I dropped it in Rich. I don't know if Rich has time to load it up.
Like
we're putting Rich through like the sick paces right now, trying to make him produce the show. But Marvel's coming in strong with that Moon Knight aesthetic. Yeah, Empire covers.
Still don't know about that parts of that costume, but
the
other cover looks good.
No, the one with the kind of moon themed one looks really.
Yeah, that one looks awesome. I don't know. There's parts of the costume that still bug me, but I'm hyped for it. But man, what a day, man!
I know things just dropping as we're on this thing. But that Justice Society, Black Adam is looking better and better to me. Like I'm really curious, and to see them rumble Black Adam and maybe eventually team up with him, it's gonna be good stuff. It's gonna be good stuff. Oh, Rich says he has the Moon Knight cover.
Let's go.
All right, there you go.
Beautiful.
So there's a look at Moon Knight, and that's the more stylistic one. There's a more traditional look at the costume in another tweet. And where's Jim? Yeah, where's Jim Viscardi? There's a Moon Knight thing. I feel like he's supposed to just come out of the aether and
magically appear.
Yeah,
that cover looks sick, man.
Oh man, yeah, that is. Okay, Jim. Okay, like I've been hard on Moon Knight, but like at least the Marvel marketing team knows what they're doing with Moon Knight so far. So
yeah,
and after seeing, I will say, after seeing Stained Glass Scarlet in that last issue of Moon Knight and what they did with her, Good Lord. I mean, it's one of those things where you kind of hope that the show machine knew what the comic machine was doing ahead of time, because I would love to see that version of the character in the show.
I had no idea who that character was, so I was good.
I mean, essentially, just like a lady in a red trench coat with a crossbow who is like crazy and whatever. Like that's kind of the basic.
I swore
tenets
years
of that
ago,
character.
Matt,
But-
years ago, I swore I was never going down that road again.
But
and I
like
am not.
this version with like a whole like Khonshu battle, kind of able to go against gods. Holy cow! Like I want.
Yeah, no, I mean, Moon Knight's one of the smartest
See
series out
that.
right now. Like they pull fun twists to how the heroes like solve problems. That was a good one, yeah. But you're getting ahead of yourself. This is not your time.
It was related. It was related. I hope to see
Just
that.
trying to edge your agenda in here anywhere.
Also, JSA,
you
I
can.
want to see Wildcat. That's all.
All right. So that was our live reactions to all the news falling out of the sky that they're going to put us to work on as soon as we get off this podcast. So let's keep it moving. Black Adam's looking good. And I guess we'll talk about I mean, this is a perfect segue into this DC year of movies teaser that came out yesterday. It was 7 seconds, just reminding us that there's 4 DC films here: the Batman, Black Adam, the Flash, and Aquaman, and the Lost Kingdom. And we were all kind of like covering this and scratching our heads and being like, what is this? Is there going to be like some epic Super Bowl thing because it's Super Bowl weekend? Is this like the first teaser rumblings? But we haven't heard anything about like any big trailer. But I guess we're going to start getting some. I guess the DC promotional machine is kicking in because now we got these Black Adam looks. So it sounds like something's happening. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Black Adam has a Super Bowl spot.
Black Adam looks
and the
amazing.
Batman will, and the Batman will. I don't know if there's anything for the Flash or Aquaman ready yet, per se, but we'll see. So, yeah, we saw that teaser. That's on Comicbook.com DC, and it looks like the content is going to keep flowing. So keep an eye to our Comicbook.com DC page because it sounds like it's going to be lit.
Oh, man. Adam Smasher looks amazing in motion.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, motion? How do you have motion?
So
because there's that new
the footage
Batman
2022 DC
teaser that just dropped.
The reel just dropped, and that's where those frames
and
are from.
Smasher in motion also has Hawkman in motion.
Oh, so is this
has
teaser
moments
like
of
bigger
Flash?
Now?
It has moments of Batman.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Oh, and you see the wings pop.
Oh, this one's 1 minute, not 7 seconds.
That looks amazing.
Yeah. Okay. So there is a whole new teaser they did. Okay. I get it.
I think it
now.
dropped around like 20 minutes ago.
Okay. Let's watch this.
Are we actually going to load it up and play it?
I don't think we can play it on the show. Can we?
Play it? I don't know if we can. I don't think we're legally allowed to.
Yeah. Flash is glowing in it, and he looks so awesome. I know that sounds weird, but like his costume is like glowing in weird places, like outlines. It looks really good. I'm sure chat has already seen all of this. Yes. Play it. The Batman's just around the corner. It is. The show is
anyone else still a little like, I don't like that new Aquaman suit at all.
I'm just not even paying attention to it because
I don't love the new Aquaman
things.
suit, man. I love that man, the look Momoa has at the end of the first Aquaman is quintessential Aquaman. Just stick with it.
So that was a thing. I didn't know it was
with
a whole teaser, man. Yeah, that is a whole teaser over on Comicbook.com DC, and obviously this is going to probably be the Super Bowl spot, right? Like,
yeah,
we'll probably air this, and yeah. Whoa, oh yeah, you guys are. I forget you guys are watching me on a live stream sometimes.
Yeah,
so everybody saw my face as I was.
Thank you, Janelle.
Here. Yeah, no problem. I'm a mod. I got this.
Nice.
Yeah, no, it's that's a good teaser, man.
It's
and that
great.
wasn't even all of it. Like they don't even show Batgirl in that trailer. Like there's still other stuff coming. There's all the animated stuff, man. There's all the like Gotham Knights is still coming. DC's man got it.
Wow, that hype turned my tweet deck into from dark to light. That's how much that hit me. Whew, I do declare, I gotta calm down. All right, so that is the teaser for the DC 2022 movies. Yeah, we're waiting on that, like that Harley Quinn season 3. Somebody's asking about. There's a lot going on, but man, that was hype. Like that was pretty hype. So yeah, I'm just way off track now. That just.
I love how we were gonna like just mention it, and then that became like a whole thing. Like we
It
should
was
Well,
fun
start
I-
doing
though.
the
I
other
wish that would
stuff.
happen more often.
Yeah.
Oh,
we
what
gotta
happened? My old T-Tech is gone or something. I don't know what.
we
is
gotta
happening.
move through the other stuff though now.
I don't know. I don't know what happened. I think I might have wrecked my own tweet deck here. Okay.
So that wasn't the only trailer we got though, of course.
Peacemaker.
Because we
No.
also I was gonna say we could talk Peacemaker, we could talk Jurassic World Dominion.
Yeah, we gotta talk stuff. We gotta keep this on the rails. So let's just talk Peacemaker real quick, and then we'll go to break, and then we'll talk about the rest. So Peacemaker this week, we're getting into right before our finale episode, and this was, I mean, it set the stage. There were real kind of things that happened here, right? Like people got murked and passed away, and major characters are gone, and we're set up for this final battle. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty good. And I mean, what is there to say at this point besides like, yeah, Peacemaker is pretty much one of the doper
Dominating
TV shows I've ever seen. So like, yeah. Congratulations, James Gunn. You killed it. It was
I
great.
love my friend, my cousin's visiting. He's like, I like certain things, DC, pretty much just like Suicide Squad and Peacemaker. And I'm like, did you like Guardians of the Galaxy? He's like, yeah, it's like my favorite. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
yeah. Same dude. Same guy. Same team.
Just
even.
like a little rougher around the edges on some of those. I think we got a comment talking about the cow. The cow and Peacemaker looked so great, says Brywood. And I totally agree. I was actually like grossed out when I saw the cow. And then I kind of felt sorry for him because he has these big bug eyes and they're just like using him and abusing him or her. We don't know pronouns. And I just feel so bad for the cow.
Yeah, there's a lot of that in Peacemaker.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, it starts off and like, oh man, that looks really good. And then you kind of think about it, and like the subtext pops in, and then you're like, no, that's disturbing now.
Yeah.
I'm very disturbed now that I think about that.
I like that in this episode we got some backstory, more of like what makes Peacemaker kind of the way that he is with his brother, and then also seeing his interaction with his dad. Like that was a really big moment. His dad's suit is scary as heck. But I cannot give more praise. Like I just adore the show. Like I love it so much. And I know, Matt, you said it's one of those ones that you might not go back and watch again.
Yeah.
Do you still feel that way?
Yeah, like it wins me over a little more every episode, but I'm just not feeling the show. But again, it's not bad. Like I understand why people like it. Like it's not one of those where I'm just like, oh man, this is terrible, whatever. No, it's just not a show that's just.
It's not for you.
It's not for me, and that's okay. Not
I mean,
everything has.
I don't think that's surprising to anybody who actually knows you. Like,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it's just But Cena is so good in this role. Like I really do want to see him occupy this role for a long time. Like, and there's a lot of great characters here. So yeah. Also, I will say Damon Streams had a comment that I feel like should be someone's Twitter bio, Space Cow Be Freaky. And I just think that's gold. I don't know. I think that should be someone's bio now. Or
the general consensus is like the cow's got to go, but I feel bad for him. He's probably just being like abused by these creatures instead of being like, he needs to just go to wherever his home is and be with other big old cows and be happy together.
If you want, I will say, Janelle, if you want to like read something where like, yes, there is like animal violence, but it will probably be therapeutic after you watch this one because they get their revenge on people. You should read the last Batman Urban Legends, which has essentially like,
I didn't know where you were going.
The adult version of the Super Pets, and like,
oh my gosh,
like they're turning like and finally getting out of this jail and like getting revenge on their captors and stuff. That whole thing was awesome. So you should read that if you're looking for like revenge for the cow. You should read that. That's awesome.
Oh my gosh. I highly recommend watching the show later at night with a nice beer in hand and just giggle for an hour, says Damon. I love that.
That's good advice.
Vigilante is hilarious. Black Panther, yeah, I agree. Best acting I've seen from Cena. Yeah, like the amount of emotion he has had is amazing. You're right. That was actually, I think this was his strongest episode, acting wise. He's a really good connection.
He's doing Cena's doing incredibly good in the dramatic moments and kind of making Christopher Smith and like what the deeper stuff is about him kind of land. Like, yeah, he's doing a really good job. And I mean, if you doubted him still, I don't know why you'd be still doubting him. I mean, he's proven to be a good actor and funny, at least for a while now, but this kind of really takes away that argument. So, yeah. And James Gunn, James Gunn's crazy that people said in the comments that he can make you care about like a hideous butterfly alien thing that dies. But all right. All right. That's Peacemaker. We're going to take a break and then we're going to come back. And when we come back, we are going to talk about the Jurassic World Dominion trailer, Futurama revival, and do our Reacher interview and a whole bunch of other stuff that we now got to speed through because we're off the tracks. We are back. We are back on Comic Book Nation.
Welcome back.
All right, so let's just speed through
The
these.
boys are in a great mood today.
It's Friday, bro.
That was the Mace version of that song, by the way.
Oh, stop with your Mace. Stop. This guy's been trying to push Mace on me for the last like 12 hours.
2 days. Sorry.
All right, so let's talk about just two quick news items because I mean they got displaced by our whole DC teaser reveal right there. Jurassic World Dominion trailer came out as well. It's going to be during the big game, and this trailer was much better than it ever had business being, in my opinion. Like Jurassic World Dominion, it looks actually like they are going to take this whole problem with dinos being out in the wild in the world and make it into an interesting story that brings together two halves of the franchise. Of course, the Jurassic World characters, Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, and of course, the original Jurassic Park characters, Laura Dern, Sam Neill, Jeff Goldblum. And it sounds like they'll have two-pronged stories until they'll meet in, kind of the middle. And yeah, I was surprised by how good this trailer is. And
yeah,
just everything from Blue having a kid and doing that whole thing to the clone kid that Chris Pratt is trying to protect, and just the scenes of how they're integrating the dinosaurs into kind of like everyday life and making that a real believable thing, which is, didn't work out so well for the Lost World at the end there with the T-Rex and stuff like that. And this one feels really kind of natural and believable and scary like that. Yeah, you're looking at the screen right now. That dinosaur coming out of the ocean is like my nightmare. So yeah. That's why you don't catch me on the sailboats and the yachts, baby, because I believe that stuff is down there still. So I'm not going anywhere near that. But yeah, this looks.
I marked out at that moment, by the way. This moment right here, when Alan pops up, I
yeah, you're like scream.
I did. I was that guy.
Thank God they did that. I mean, you have to pay homage to like the firsts.
But like, man, this trailer looks dope.
Yeah, and
I've liked these movies. Yeah. I've liked these movies. I've enjoyed these movies, and to see them like really like we actually get to see what that last movie with this sort of premise of hey they're out and here whatever only could really get the tiniest bit of, and this one really feels like it's going all out with that premise, and that's what I like. So,
we're getting modern dinosaur designs. We just saw we got like raptors with the feathers. I mean, that's literally what we've discovered since Jurassic Park started making raptors an icon. Is that like they're actually much smaller and they look like little birds. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, dino research has come a long way. But yeah, I mean, in this part with the plane and the giant bird, the dinosaur, this stuff just looks crazy. It's like everything I liked about kind of Jurassic Park 3, for what it was and kind of the parts of world that I like, but making this concept and selling it as dinosaurs being in the normal world now is the key to this, and they pull it off. So I'm in. Looking forward to
all
this.
of our favorite dinos are in it too. I feel like they're not like holding back on any of the throwback dinosaurs. Like we get to see all of them.
Yeah, pterodactyls, by the way, low key the like most vicious dinosaurs in the franchise. I think they've killed the most people. Like I know like the created ones always get all the shine, and like of course T-Rex and stuff, but like if you really look at it, like who's killed the most people, it's probably all the flying dinosaurs probably killed the most people. Just in like the first Jurassic World, right? Like they kill a ton of people. They just carry them away and like drop them off of things. They're like vicious. So
drop them on their head.
Yeah, man, this is crazy. Like, done.
But you got to take it up a notch after something like Kong Skull Island. You got to take it up a notch.
I'm starting to think, I feel like they got rid of Islands of Adventure in Orlando, the Universal theme park. I feel like they might have gotten rid of Dino, like Jurassic World. And now I feel like that's not good because maybe they did. I can't remember, but that was a really cool world. It feels like you're in Jurassic Park, and this is probably going to make that pop again. It was really neat. I mean, it's literally that. Like we
like it. Yes. So Jurassic World, we like. Let's move on. Futurama's coming back, y'all. Futurama is coming back. Futurama's coming back on Hulu. Much of the original cast is coming back, with one notable exception. John DiMaggio, the voice of Bender, is not back yet. DiMaggio recently opened up, and basically what it sounds like behind the scenes is he's just trying to negotiate for a bigger payday for this, which I wrote up an article about his response. And, I didn't feel bad editorializing this and saying, like, he has the leverage to get it. Like, John DiMaggio is the voice of Bender. Bender is the most iconic and recognizable person in Futurama. Yeah. And John DiMaggio, where other people like, Katie Seagal might have gone on and done, bigger things like Sons of Anarchy and like all this, John DiMaggio has just made his bones climbing the ladder of voice animation and becoming like one of the most in-demand voice actors out there. So like, yeah, you're going to maybe have to pay him to come back and do Bender again. So he has the leverage to at least negotiate and ask for that. So sounds like things are still being worked out, because
is that the issue, that they just don't want to pay him what
I don't know if it's that. He also has a contract with Netflix right now because he's doing Disenchanted with Matt Groening.
Right.
Matt Groening's fantasy series over there at Netflix. He's a main character in that, and so he's contracted for that. And who knows? The man works on. If you look at his filmography, it's like every 2 days he's doing another project, because, like I said, he's one of the most in-demand voice actors there is. So I don't know if it's contract conflicts, money, a little of both. Who knows? But I mean, it's kind of almost a non-starter if you don't bring him back, right? Because you can recast it, but like Futurama is one of those series that kind of lives and dies by a hardcore fan base, and has lived and died multiple times thanks to its hardcore fan base. So I don't know if you can like just swap that out and be like, okay, we're just gonna move forward.
How'd that voice go?
Okay, we're just gonna move forward.
Ebert.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if there's more to say. I love Futurama. Obviously, it's coming back because enough people kept. I mean, and to be fair, let's get real, Hulu. You've been shoving Futurama down everybody's throats as much as you could, because every time I nod off and wake up, like when I was watching something on Hulu, all of a sudden I've switched over to Futurama every single time. Like, all right. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. But
move on.
Yeah, we gotta move on. So let's keep going.
All right, that is keeping us on the rails.
Let's talk about Reacher, because that's one of our big highlights of this episode. The new Reacher series is out on Amazon Prime. Matt gave us a review last week, and based on your review, because I've been the Reacher books could never get me. Lee Childs could never get me in these Reacher books. The Tom Cruise movies were okay.
Yeah, I didn't love them either.
I didn't love them either, but there was how him and Chris McQuarrie got hooked up and started making badass Mission Impossible movies together was through the original Jack Reacher movie. The second one with Maria Hill was trash. I can't even touch that movie, but the first one's all right. Mostly because of Werner Herzog being the craziest villain in that thing. But you watch this Amazon Prime Reacher series, and yeah, you can't go back to those Tom Cruise movies anymore. Like, You just killed that. You just killed those movies, bro. Like,
dude is Reacher.
Yeah. Alan Richardson is Reacher, and man, this guy has been waiting for like a starring turn forever. He's been great ever since the freaking CW Smallville days. He's been great, and this really finally puts him to use. And this series is great, like you said. It's just hard. It's Lee Child's hard-boiled kind of detective story with real stakes. People get murked in horrible ways.
Yeah.
Like a lot. There's actual scariness to this as a thriller. And Alan Richardson just carries it as Reacher. And this is one show that no matter what the COVID stuff, like, found a way. I mean, it's clearly just like one town going between motels, but this works. And unlike a lot of series that have like 7, 8, 9, 10 episodes, this one never feels like slow or fluffy or just like with filler. Like, every episode was captivating and had something, and I could follow the investigation, right? Yeah. Even though it turned into a complex thing, I could follow the investigation. So I burned through Reacher real quick. I dug it. Great job, Matt, for telling us something good.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think, Janelle?
Oh man, I'm not. This is not my normal thing. I don't really care about like crime or anything real. I like supernatural and vampires and zombies and superheroes and space, but I'm so into this. I am all in. I'm on episode 5 right now. He is, golly, that is a good looking man. He's my new celebrity crush, like, without a doubt. Oh my God. He's literally like a G.I. Joe or something in real life. But it's just a great job. Super exciting episode to episode. I don't know. I'm a big fan. There he is with the shirt. Just a big fan. Yeah. And I loved him from Titans. So it's really, really good to see him.
Yeah.
Some people were asking, in Smallville, Alan Richardson was Aquaman. He was Arthur Curry.
Aquaman. He was Arthur Curry, man.
Yeah.
And he was very good.
He was Arthur Curry of the bargain bin Justice League that Smallville put together.
Hey, I like that Justice League.
I remember I covered the first photo of that, and I was so hyped. Everybody was so hyped.
Everything was so good, man.
Yeah, but
so Harley is Green Arrow, man.
So, Matt, you got to sit down and talk with Alan Richardson. Why don't you give your thoughts on Reacher now that we're kind of all seeing it, and take us into that?
Yeah, I got to sit down with Alan Richardson and Lee Childs and talk about it. And, we the Reacher movie, comes up briefly, but like, this just feels, like Kofi said, this feels just so different and just approach. Like, this really does feel like the books come to life. Man, Richardson just kills that character. Like, it's a level of performance. Like, when people were kind of talking about Batista's performance in Guardians, and how it just felt so unique and different in a superhero movie, that's kind of something I equate this to. Like, he just has this feel all his own, and the way he interacts with people and stuff. And like, by the way, Willa, who plays Roscoe, is fantastic, and she comes up during the interview as well. She is so good in this series.
Oh, they all are.
She has Malcolm.
Malcolm,
like, so many scenes of where they're just chewing scenery, and it doesn't matter. It's just really great dialogue. And then you get like brutal fights, and they don't hold back. It's not like over the top gory, but like, it's just gory enough. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, I came away, and I was hoping to like it. I ended up coming away just like really loving it, and I'm very excited that it already got renewed. So we're gonna get that second season. Probably gonna take after this. This very much takes the first book. So hoping that it's just gonna be. There's a lot of Reacher books, so this has the potential to go on for quite a while.
And it's got to be cheap to produce. No reason why not. So
it's like in one area, right? Like, it's just like you don't move, and like half the time is in the police station.
Yeah, prop guns, one little location, some podunk town. You just refit and go ahead. So let's get to you talking to Alan Richardson.
Yeah, there we go.
Richardson, I should stop saying.
Put it on Reacher because I really enjoyed the series. I know we can't get into spoilers of some of the later stuff, but man, I feel like people are in for a real thrill ride. Starting from square one a bit, can you kind of take us through when you heard the news that you've been cast in the part, Alan, and what do you enjoy most about the character?
First of all, I'm really glad to hear you say that you enjoyed it. All I care about is, every fan that's been a part of this, everybody that's read the books, but also people who haven't yet experienced Reacher and what these worlds are about. I just want everybody to enjoy this. Every time somebody says they've enjoyed this, it means a lot. I was approached about this, as were a lot of very talented guys that I'm lucky to be counted against. But a couple of years ago, and as the process kind of started to get closer and closer, I poured myself into the books and I fell in love. So I read all the books before we shot a frame of the show, and my job was to bring this to life in the most authentic way that I could, and have obviously been supported by the incredible work that Lee's done, and the incredible work that Nick Santora, our showrunner, has done in adapting that work to screen, which is a job in and of itself. But it's been a collaborative effort, and these brilliant minds have teed it up. So I just feel grateful to be a part of it, honestly, at this point.
Well, for you, Lee, what do you enjoy most about Alan's portrayal of the character? A character very close to your heart, I imagine.
Well, yeah, it's weird for me because, I invented the character, I wrote the book, and then you hand it off to somebody else. And as long as I feel like I like the people and admire their work and trust them, then I just sat back and I just reacted to it like a regular viewer. And I loved it. I mean, if I managed to dissociate myself from knowing about it, I just thought, wow, this is just a great show. It is carried by one person, but it also has a tremendous cast around him, great writing. And because I wasn't worried about it, I was just able to sit there and look at it and think, yeah, this is really exciting. And the proof for me was, they obviously send me the stuff as it's edited and completed. And I stayed up all night, just watched it back to back. And then I did the same thing the next night, simply because it was that good. So, yeah, I'm thrilled.
Well, yeah. And, I was going to ask actually kind of what, how involved in the process you were in kind of, making sure that it had the tone and the overall vibe and Reacher as a character as well to the books. And, when putting the series together, what was most important for you to highlight and showcase about Reacher and his world, especially because we're going to get a bunch of new fans to the franchise, right? You're on a big streaming platform. There's a lot of people that maybe just haven't had a chance to check out that franchise, and they're going to be introduced through this series. Was that kind of an important thing to kind of hit on for this show?
It really was. And when you say introduced, that is absolutely the right word, because for me anyway, it boiled down to literally the first 2 seconds of seeing Alan as the character. It had to work in those first 2 seconds, because Reacher is a guy who steps into the room or steps onto the screen and does nothing, says nothing, but you have got to know who he is. And you've got to know that he's looking at you thinking, if you're a good guy, he's going to be a good friend. If you're a bad guy, he's going to be your worst nightmare. But it's not you that chooses, it's him. And you had to know that in the first 2 seconds. And when I saw Alan's test, I thought, this is definitely the guy. And then I felt like an idiot. I thought, I'm going to be arguing with all these other producers based on a 2-second impression. But actually, they all saw it. They all agreed. And so that was totally the fundamental thing, that the show is called Reacher. He carries the whole thing by definition. But we had a sensational cast around him, great writing. Yes. Great photography, great locations. The whole thing was just brilliant. And from my point of view, my dream was that it would come out as good as I thought it might. And actually, it came out better. It came out as good as I thought, with icing on the top and a cherry. It's just great.
Well, for you, Alan, what was the biggest challenge in, crafting your own take on the character? Obviously, you have a huge canvas to work from the books themselves, and then of course we've seen the movies as well. So was it challenging to kind of make sure to stay true to those things, but also kind of find your own spin?
I think to be honest, I think this is one of those projects where there is no my take. I've certainly played characters before where there is my take, and I don't like to be argued with. I mean, there are those, especially in the comedy world. I feel like sometimes there are choices you just make. This is not one of those. This isn't something that I was brought into improv like I do on some shows. It's all there. My entire goal was to bring Reacher to life as he is in the books, and there's enough to work with for me to understand who that is to me, and certainly my natural fingerprints may look a little different from somebody else's, the way that they imagine him. But at the end of the day, I think there's a way to get very close to the target with what everybody else thinks as well, and that was my goal, to bring Reacher to life as he is on the page. So to me there was no my take, and the other half of that equation is, again, this was a very collaborative effort. I mean, I was sort of being groomed for the collaborative effort side of things in the audition process. It was multiple people on the call going like, "Hey man, that was good. Can we try it? Like, I think maybe we try it funny, like you just play it funny. That was great. That was fun. Can we try it where you like really, like, it's like malicious and stoic, and all right, and we would just play in these, in like these wildly different fields for a moment, and it was fun. And we took that to screen. I mean, we took that, the first couple episodes especially, like, let's just keep playing with this and see where it lands. And I don't think there's none of that. It wasn't indecisive as much as it was like, let's see how far we can push Reacher in certain situations. That was all collaborative, and I think that helped us land in the right place. Where Reacher is in the cut, I mean, it's the seamless, unified character. I mean, I don't think there's any like, they didn't know who this guy was, and again, I mean, just it took a team to get there.
Well, and it was brought up before. The show has a great cast. Willa kills as Roscoe.
She does.
The character is just amazing. Same with Malcolm. Like there's a lot of great cast members in this. That Reacher, the comedy bits, I feel like the comedy comes out more when it's just in those exchanges between them all, just talking. It's about, like, I mean, it was one of those things where you got so excited when Reacher would go to the police station. It was like, oh, this is great, because like we get more of that, right? For Roscoe especially, because those two are together a lot throughout the season. What did Willa bring to that role, and what can you kind of tell us about their dynamic throughout?
Yeah, what didn't she bring? I mean, she's a firecracker. 5'0" and she's one of the first actresses I've ever worked with that literally put me on my heels in a scene. I mean, she comes up to you and pierces your soul with her eyes, and there's such power behind what she does. It's and I think that's there's something to that, art imitating life kind of thing. I mean, working, we shot kind of in order. It was pretty sequential. And the first time we shot together it was in one of those early scenes in the police department. And, I mean, I think Reacher was taken aback and struck by who she is. And I felt the same thing, So she's just one powerful actress. And I couldn't wait to get back into a scene with her. And, if you're ever lucky enough to be in a scene with Willa, to see the way that she looks at you and her eyes are just full of fire. I mean, it's just a one of a kind experience that I've been lucky enough to see from the inside. But you're right, she is incredible.
I agree with that.
In many ways, yeah. She makes the show. Yeah.
I totally agree with that. It made me think maybe I should have written books about Roscoe instead of Reacher.
Too late, Lee.
Yeah,
too late.
All right. Matt,
that spinoff, man. We got
great job on that, Matt. Taking out time to talk with Alan Ritchson. Go check out Reacher. I mean, I think consensus is pretty clear from us. We want you guys to check out Reacher. It's pretty sick.
And I did fit a Titans question in there that we will spin at some point. I couldn't walk away and not fit in a question about Hawk. And I believe what he said was he said that bomb was like the best thing that ever happened to me, because he wouldn't have had the like ability to really do Reacher, but he still loves that world. And
well, now we knew why he had to die, and it was worth it, so it's all good. All right, so here, just real quick, we're going to touch on another series that I thought we were going to have more time to talk about today, but it was interesting. I thought this was an easy layup, but apparently not. So that is All of Us Are Dead, one of the #1 trending Netflix series right now. Yeah, Asian TV series are killing it on Netflix right now, thanks to
they're
Squid
dominating.
Game. Yeah, thanks to Squid Game, and this is the latest one, and it's based on I forget if it's a manga or graphic novel, which one it is, but it's based on a comic, and this is about the zombie apocalypse starting in a high school and spreading out, but the kids getting trapped in the school. So I thought this was an easy layup because if you don't know, our girl Janelle Wheeler got into this comic book family by doing After the Dead, the show with Brandon Davis, our Walking Dead kind of recap show, where she cut her teeth doing awesome commentary on zombies. And I thought I was giving you a gift here, but then you came back and you were like, nah, man, F you. This is not a gift. And I was just like, oh, okay. So note about Janelle Wheeler. She does not like teen drama. Now,
I don't.
Janelle, is that because you had plenty of teen drama that you don't want to relive? Or
No, I just don't care. I'm too old. I care about the zombie stuff, but I think there's a lot of cultural differences. Like, I think that it's obviously like more of a conservative culture in general, where like even just saying you have a crush on a boy is a big deal, and I just want to like puke at that thought because like all of my friends were doing way more than the average bear when they were 14, 15.
Whoa, hey.
Yeah. So it's just not relatable.
No, statute of limitations are good. We're good.
It's just
I
not
just love the
relatable.
Yogi reference. That is amazing.
Yeah. It just isn't. I don't know.
Attach your dirt to Yogi the Bear. Come on.
Hey, boo boo.
Like no American teenager is like just giving someone a patch and being like, I really like you.
Hey,
Like,
we went steady when I was growing up. I don't know what you're talking about.
Went steady.
not normal. But yeah, I don't know. And I think it's culturally speaking, it's just not, I'm not on the same page. I just kind of like roll my eyes at their issues. And like, I don't think they gave me any way to feel like they killed off a certain character in episode 2 or something. And it was supposed to be this big dramatic thing. And I was supposed to feel really emotional. And I'm like, I don't even know who that is. Like, I didn't get a lot of context. I didn't feel any emotional bond. And I don't know if that's because of the subtitles, that whole, you don't feel the same emotion, obviously, because it's in a different language. So you have to, I don't know. I just sometimes feel like it doesn't translate as well. And this is one that doesn't translate for me. I liked The Walking Dead because it was very emotional and there were so many different types of characters with different backgrounds. And this is like a bunch of kids from the same neighborhood dealing with it. I will say I only watched the first 3 episodes though, so it might get better.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, it doesn't change. If you don't like the first 3 episodes, you're not gonna like. They're gonna
It's not
start
that I
getting
hated it,
not
but also the music's really corny. Like it's like dunka 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 dunka, and they're like fighting for their lives. I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on?
That almost made me want to watch this more. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't get to watch this one, so I'm out of this.
It's not. I mean, it does get slow because, like you said, there is this balance of it being a teen drama as well. So like there are episodes where they're just like, somebody betrays somebody and then they're fighting and arguing about it. And I think it's okay, but I also think like these kids don't, I mean, there's things that I don't get that don't add up to me. Like all of these kids are so hyper aware in the show of like what zombie apocalypses are. Like they even reference Train to Busan in the beginning. They're like, oh, what's happening? Things like it's Train to Busan, which is a famous Asian culture zombie movie. But nobody seems to know how to kill a zombie. Except for like a couple people who are just like, yeah, we're just gonna stab people in the head. And everybody's like all like still sensitive about like killing these zombies. And so they're just like pushing them around. And even when there's like an episode where they like get trapped in a room with somebody who at this point they know is gonna turn, but they're still having trouble like letting go. And it's like, no.
Oh, so annoying.
You got like, you have some, but the show also has these themes about like what happens when we're forced to survive and like, we all become like whatever animals we are. And some of us are predators and some of us aren't. And, you know, when the chips are down, everybody's kind of beast nature comes out. Like that's the theme of the show and why the guy creates the zombie apocalypse. So these kids just standing around not doing what's necessary is like, it's crazy to me. Like they're
the
all about to
origin
get
story is cool.
Yeah,
of like where the zombies come from. I will say that is cool.
But yeah, the kids. Yeah, we gotta move on.
Let us know what you guys think if you do watch this. Tweet us.
Yeah, so let's get to comics because this is just tweet us. All of us are dead. It's kind of a mixed
Euphoria
bag.
High School, exactly, guys.
Oh my god!
Don't know. I don't want to know nothing about Florida high schools. Let's go.
All right, speaking of drama, let's get into our first comic, which is Batman Catwoman number 10.
I'm so confused
because there's a lot of family drama in this issue. It's all a family drama, actually. It's all like this dysfunction stuff. So I actually what helps me with this series is that before every issue, I go back and read the previous two. Because I need one, it does not feel like these have been monthly releases. It feels like there's been a little bit of space, so I forget stuff. And then two, there's so much that happens in each of these things that I just need the recap. So I go back and read the past two issues. So coming back and reading the past two issues, I moved into this one pretty smoothly.
I wish I did that.
This is very much, I mean, I feel kind of bad for Phantasm because I feel like that character was brought in. It was kind of the focal point of all the marketing at first. And it was like, yeah, this character is coming into the comic. And that character has been completely sidelined for like 2 issues now. And this issue has nothing to really do with her. It's more about the relationship between Helena, Selena, and 2 dead people, which is the Joker and Bruce, because both of them are no longer here, and it's become the history, and this issue at least brought a lot of those storylines together. They are starting to converge, and you're starting to understand why we're seeing this like 3 different histories. Like we're starting to understand that here. I enjoyed this issue, and it seems to be indicating that, you know, they don't come out right and say it, but they pretty much come out right and say it, that Elena is Joker's child.
Yeah, and I didn't want to go there. Yeah.
That is pretty much what they say, because
I don't know what's happening.
Because she says, I mean, the whole thing, right, has been her whole argument with Bruce that you've seen in the past has been like, you don't own me. When you're with me, that doesn't mean you have all of me and everything that comes with me. You get to dictate what I do and all this other stuff. And she essentially has been saying the same thing to Joker over the last like 2 issues in their conversations as she's been fighting him, right? Because she's like, we're supposed to be villains, but you're not like the Riddler, and you're not like Penguin, and you're like all these people, you know, right and wrong. Like she's starting to see Bruce's side in how he views the Joker, but then you also get the encapsulation of like she views them both the same way, like they're you know, for all intents and purposes, greedy lovers, and they want everything. They don't just want, you know, the piece of you that you're willing to give. And so at the end, when she's talking to Elena and very much saying like, you don't see this now, like she's not, to me anyway, she's not Bruce's child, she's Joker's child.
Yeah, I think Dark Knights of Steel took me as far as I could go. Now, like, I'm just trying to wrap my head around the mechanics of just Selena sleeping with Joker. Like,
God, no.
Then I mean,
that's what it feels like, by the way.
But then I know Janelle Wheeler, and I'm like,
I love the Joker.
Like, yeah,
I do.
Okay, am I off base though? With like, that's what it's.
No, that's what I read too.
No
I just did not want to let my mind go there. But
I have no clue. Like Brywood in the chat also had no idea. Was completely shocked. Spidey looks completely shocked. So I think it's gonna be a mixed bag here. I think people are like, wait, what? I'm totally shocked. I don't really know what to say now because I'm so shocked.
They might swerve. I mean, they could swerve. It is Tom King. It might swerve and be something else. But that is very, to me, clearly the message we're supposed to get. Or they're gonna come out and say in the next issue that, because the other thing that gets hinted here is that, you know, Bruce is a lot like the Joker in the way they interact with people and things like that. So maybe like, you know, yes, maybe you are Bruce's child. Maybe it doesn't go that far, but essentially your father was no better than, like, they're the same person. Like it's going to be some
comments are turning on you
for real, or it's going to be metaphorical. But either way, it's going to be that. That's what they are pushing in this. I mean, that's how it feels anyway. So that's a lot. There's a lot there. The thing is, I enjoyed this issue.
Yeah,
I
I
really
enjoyed it
enjoyed this
too.
issue because these books, I don't know, man. Even if it's a negative reaction, they still get a reaction from me. I always feel like I one have something to talk about after a
Yeah.
Batman Catwoman issue, but also I just feel like I'm engaged, and that isn't something I get from every single comic I read. So anyway, what'd you guys think?
I mean, I feel like I pretty much just said it. I was very
Yeah.
confused and now I'm shocked and I think I need to go back and read it.
I think that I like this series, but I think that the annual kind of in some ways has invalidated my anticipation for this series because we know how Selena's story ends now. Like, I don't know if this twist, and I don't think this twist is going to be one that's, ooh, you guys got Amy and Wayne? Ooh. I don't know what, I mean, the Batman fandom's going to spaz if this is a thing. Tom King, man, zero chill, great guy, but like, he does not want to just make it easy for himself. He is just going in. I mean, there's a whole bunch of Bane stuff going on. Like, yeah, it's crazy around here right now in Batman land. But yeah, this was pretty wild. But I didn't feel like this issue was really good at kind of putting all those time periods together in a really interesting way. It was a very kind of long, verbose speech from Selena about that never really actually stated a point and just stayed vague. And I was like, okay, I guess. But like about the whole connection between Bruce and the Joker, which we've done to ad nauseum. I don't.
Well, I
need
was
to-
expecting like one more page. I was literally, after they get to that point, I was like, okay, well, like it was setting up for the cap on that speech, and then it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait,
There's no cap, no cap at all.
I gotta wait for another thing. Like that felt a little, yeah. That I was jarred by that too. I understand.
So I mean, this was not my favorite issue. I think the annual. I'm still glowing at how good the annual was. So
It was very good.
yeah, so that's
All right,
that.
so let's move into the books don't get any less trippy. Let's move into 10 Deaths of Wolverine, number 2, the Moira McTaggart book, which I'm actually thoroughly enjoying. For me, this book is okay. So the Moira McTaggart stuff is the stuff I really like, and it's the stuff I enjoy because that is essentially kind of moving the larger plot forward, and it's an interesting story because we've seen this character, she even talks about it in the issue, of like going from being the savior and someone who's protected by the entire, mutant nation, to now is not even allowed to be on the island, lost an arm, is like running from them. So like I really enjoy this shakeup and seeing this character kind of on her heels and trying to figure out things on the fly. There's some really great stuff with her and Mystique. That said, the Wolverine stuff in this series does not make as much sense to me as the stuff in Lives. So like the Lives, that storyline and the trail of like following what Wolverine is doing and seeing some of those pieces fit together smoother and more easily for me, just for me. And Death, it's still, when he's there, I'm like, okay, well, why is he? Yeah, like I still have way more questions than answers, but like I don't have like a reason to care either. Like I'm all in on Moira's story. I'm all in on that. The Wolverine of it all. This book is a Wolverine titled book after all. So like that part, I'm still kind of like, I don't know. But I still enjoyed this issue. What do you guys think?
I think that, I mean, the X Lives is interesting because it's easy to absorb kind of what's happening there in the premise. I think X Deaths is still interesting with the Moira stuff, like you said. But I think I'm interested in how this is bringing up some of the kind of loose dangling threads of House of X and Powers of 10. Specifically, the sixth life of Moira. I don't want to get too tinfoil hat, but one of the last reveals of the House of X saga was Moira's sixth life, where she got trapped in that kind of weird biome with the post-humans and like that whole thing. And she and Wolverine were there. And that's like the thing where the phalanx come and absorb that. And there's that whole post-human versus phalanx, a machine thing, and like the machine gods. And I feel like this Wolverine is definitely tied to that. And I think it's called X 10 Deaths of Wolverine because I think it's about Wolverine's deaths related to Moira's lifetimes.
Oh.
And like how, because like they made a point in House of X to show you that Wolverine is usually one of the last people standing in whatever lifetime like Moira's been through. in the Machine War, in like that Sixth Life with the post-humans. Like he's kind of hanging around, and Wolverine is this weird conduit that constant throughout time. And I think whatever happened in one of those lifetimes didn't get erased because the machine gods are outside like the known universe, right? Or some crazy crap like that, if I remember correctly. Like whatever those things came from, like, yeah, they're outside the known universe. So like, yeah, there is, he could be, I think it's the Wolverine from that sixth lifetime who got absorbed by those machine things and became whatever he became. And they're trying to shut this process down for whatever happened in that timeline, or like whatever they're trying to stop Moira from doing. Because we said it when we were doing House of X. One of the first things we speculated about is you're doing all this stuff with these lifetimes, but you know the Marvel universe has levels, so there's gonna be somebody eventually who's gonna, maybe besides like Mystique and them, we're gonna be like, this is too crazy what you're doing, and like we got to step in and do something about this because you're playing with forces of like time, reality, and all this stuff. So I'm kind of interested in that, but it is I think Deaths is harder because that's why there's this surface Moira thing, because Deeper is this crazy thing about the lifetimes and what happened to Wolverine and trying to keep track of all that House of X stuff. And so it's pretty dense.
But they just haven't done it. Because that theory is great. I like that theory if that's how it ends up happening. But I don't think they've done a very good job of like it shouldn't take you tinfoil hatting. You know what I mean? They should lay out, to me, they should lay out the puzzle pieces a little bit clearer. And they, to me, they have it. Like, to me, that's not.
Well, it's just MORE.
That's not necessarily evident.
Moira on the run eating.
I don't know. What did you think, Janelle?
Well,
just say you hate X-Men and let's move on.
No, I actually like the way that you explained it, Kofi, was actually kind of helpful for me because I don't have all that context. Not having that context and having no idea who Moira is, I will just say I'm really enjoying her story and I'm understanding what's happening. She's on the run. She has a bunch of lives. Mutants wouldn't be mutants without her. Am I getting all this right? Like, am I understand that they wouldn't reincarnate? And so, like, I love what the Moira thing is. I'm loving her story, and that's my favorite part of this so far.
Yeah. Can you explain?
You know what? Yeah, we really should do a house reread at some
point. That would be great. Yeah. I
by the way,
House of M.
I will get to that after the end. Let's hit this last book and then we got to sign off. So Suicide Squad Blaze, number 1.
I didn't get to this. I couldn't finish this, but it is good.
I couldn't finish it either, but I am halfway through and I'm enjoying the heck out of it.
I'm set us up and let's talk about it next week because it's really good, but I'm not done yet.
Okay, so
I didn't realize that it was a long book. I really didn't.
50 pages, man.
It is a long book. Yeah. That was the poll. So what we will do then, yes, we will dive into this next week, and then we will also do another poll. So we'll have 4 books next week, but we can totally do that. This is long, and I am actually very eager to talk about it with y'all. But I agree, like we kind of all need.
I was in when I
saw
went
long the show anyways.
As soon as I saw the opening had Amanda Waller waking up in a wave cap, I was like, Yo, I'm in. Like, that's real. This is what diversity in comic books does. Yeah, because that's right.
But real quick, we did do a poll for our first monthly read along. We're still figuring out what the heck to call it. What the hashtag that. We're gonna start that because like the month has already started, and I'm just getting to announcing this now. So we're gonna start that for March. We will start that for March and be our book.
Yeah.
Unless you want to start now, but
we're gonna have a bunch of interactive stuff coming.
Yeah, it's gonna be Strange Academy is gonna be our first one. Because why not? It's still going on, and once it ends, it is going to be coming back for a summer semester. So we'll get all caught up. We'll do you can read along with us, and then we'll talk about it and everything once we've actually gotten completely caught up, and then we'll be primed for when that series returns. So that's gonna be our first one.
Good job voting, everyone. Thank you. I'm so excited.
But House is definitely in the cards, but that's it.
All right, that's comics. I'm just gonna quick mention. Still, I'm gonna pump for anime right now. Yo, I've had more phone calls this week. Attack on Titan has people shook as it should. It's only gonna get crazier out here. Yo, I just can't wait. We were having some conversations before the show. The next month of fan Twitter is going to be off the chain. From anime to TV to movie, it's going to be off the chain. So it's going to get crazy, and I'm psyched.
Good off the chain, or
it's always the same. It's good. It's bad. and it's ugly. So we're gonna do it all. But yeah, Attack on Titan's off the chain. Made some big moves this week as we get down these final episodes, and people are suddenly calling me, being like, "Am I watching a show supporting a spoiler?" And it's just like, you may be. I don't know what kind of show you're watching anymore, and neither do you. So hang in there and ride. And Demon Slayer's coming with its big finale. That thing looked gorgeous. This battle. I mean, Demon Slayer is just crazy good. So check that out on the anime side. Other than that, we want to thank Alan Richardson for sitting down and talking Reacher with us. Check that show out. Check out the rest of Matt's interviews and content about that. So yeah, great stuff. That'll do it for this episode of Comic Book Nation. We're going to sign off real quick today, but you can find the show on every podcast platform from Apple to Spotify. You can also watch us every week on Twitch here, YouTube, Facebook, or I got family members who found us on ET Live last week. So we're on ET Live. We're streaming on Paramount Plus. We are out there. So that's it. If you also just want to follow along, our Twitter feed is a lot more popping these days. So just at Comic Book Nation, or you can find me at Kofi Outlaw.
You can find Matt at Matt Aguilar CV.
Sorry, my wife texted me right then. I was like,
I got you. You can find me at Janelle Wheeler. And definitely find us all on all of the Comic Book Nation handles. God. Please tweet to us. We love it. We're stepping up our Twitter game. So,
love it.
Hey, Quicksilver going on over there?
Who?
Your Quicksilver dude?
My Quicksilver dude.
No, I was talking to Janelle. She has like her hair was sparkling for a minute there.
Yeah, I'm back to my
hair was sparkling.
Oh, yes. Holy cow.
There we go.
Notice that.
I'm back.
There you go. See, this is why you guys got to check it out on visual. You have no idea what we're talking about. This is Comic Book Nation. We're going to get out of here. Have a happy weekend. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Bye, guys.